So I'm going to do a presentation today about differentiated instruction for the library AQ. So let's go through the big idea first, and basically what I want you to think about, the big issue is that differentiation is responsible teaching rather than one size fits all teaching. So it's about different opportunities for different students, with the caveat that these opportunities be respectful tasks. It isn't about the high achieving students doing an exploration project in which they build exciting things, while the students who need more support are filling in drill worksheets. So quality differentiation, it depends on having clear curriculum targets. So I recommend looking at Kathy Tomlinson's book. She says that differentiation must be extension of, not a replacement for, high quality curriculum. So it's important to note that the target stays the same for all students. The process, product, or access to content change depending on the individual student needs. The same assessment tool or rubric will be used for all students. The focus of differentiation is usually not on what the student is learning, that remains constant, but rather on how the student learns it. So using varied instructional strategies for responding to readiness, interest, and learning profiles. So there are many tools and strategies for differentiation. And another book that's really good to help understand differentiation is Karen Hume's book, Start Where They Are. And it's a great book for strategies. So I want you to think about flexible groupings, and that varies depending on the readiness, interest, and learning profile. So who really needs this lesson? When and how will I deliver it? The key word on this slide is flexible. So differentiating instruction is not about creating permanent groups based on perceived ability that quickly delineates for the students who are the high achievers and who are the lower achievers. And DI groupings vary frequently depending on whether your focus is on student interests, student learning profiles, or their academic readiness. Ongoing assessment and adjustment is also essential. We're responding to assessment data. So assessment for learning is the feeder system for differentiation. To reinforce this point, assessment allows us to gather data about our students, and DI provides us with the opportunity to put that data to use in our classrooms by providing instruction and learning opportunities suited to a student's readiness, interest, and learning profile. So if you say, I don't know what to do with the diagnostic data that you gather, the answer is differentiated instruction. So the rest of the presentation I'm going through is going to focus on the starting point of differentiated instruction, which is diagnostic data that helps us to know our students and their learning profile. So just as you have to know where you're going, design planning, know what you are assessing, which is clear targets and criteria, you also must know your learners and how they learn. So effective assessment for learning depends on knowing our students by gathering data related to students' readiness, interest, and learning profiles. This is our diagnostic or pre-assessment, and it happens at the beginning of the year, and throughout the course at the beginning of new units of study. So if I want you to take a look at this chart. So the key here is a teacher's response to learning needs guided by ongoing assessment and adjustment. And then teachers can differentiate according to students' readiness, start where they are, interests, make it meaningful. Third, learning profile, build on their strengths. And then they do that through content, process, environment, and product. And so this is from Carol Ann Tomlinson's based on the differentiated classroom. So begin with assessment, diagnostic, or pre-assessment. So why assessment? So good pre-assessments allow you to begin uh, to be more effective and more efficient in your instruction because you do not waste time and energy working on materials students have already mastered and are not ready to master. You can compare pre-assessment to post-assessment to measure student growth over a unit of study, which will help you evaluate the effectiveness of your instruction. Okay, so that concludes my presentation about differentiated instruction. And what I like is how it ties into what we talked earlier about the importance um, of assessment and evaluation.